the Rob Carson Show. Are you ready to be podsmacked? Now, here's Rob Carson.
Here is Rob Carson. Hello and welcome to the show. It is Monday. It is the 16th of April. Wow. Crazy, right? The weather here in Kansas City, a little bit better than it was yesterday. We had some snow. My mother lives in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. They had 14 inches of snow yesterday. Terrible. Terrible. Anyway, welcome to the show. You'll notice things are a little different today. I thought rather than just have my groovy home studio in the background, we'd do something a little bit more provocative. So I had this brick wall actually installed behind me. Actually, really not a brick wall. It's fake. But anyway, I thought you might like it. Anyway, glad to have you joining me this evening. We have a lot of stuff to get to on the show, including Syrian airstrikes by Donald Trump and the United States government and military. Want to get into a little bit about Jim Comey's big interview last night on whatever the hell, George Stephanopoulos. That's a joke. And then the numbers were terrible. The numbers showed it. Okay, now think about this. You're thinking blockbuster numbers. Jim Comey, talking about Donald Trump and all of the things that Donald Trump was involved. Jim Comey, the ex-FBI. Jim Comey is a giant POS. Jim Comey is a giant, flaming, arrogant POS. That's what he is. Jim Comey is a corruptocrat. He was fired for good reason by the president. Jim Comey is a typical Washington establishment type. And when Donald Trump came to office and met with Jim Comey, Donald Trump said, "I'd like your loyalty." I know. Loyalty in Washington, D.C., crazy, right? And Jim Comey is a corruptocrat. Jim Comey took offense at this outsider in Washington, D.C., where Jim Comey has been his entire life. He was immediately offended. He was immediately dejected. And ultimately, he went after Donald Trump in a political fashion. Jim Comey is the ultimate example of the swamp. The ultimate example of the swamp. And Donald Trump fired his ass. Fired his ass. I know it's kind of hard for maybe you and I to believe, being members of the private sector, but it's actually kind of easy to get fired in the private sector. It is. In the public sector, in the FBI, it's a grand offense to be fired. But Donald Trump fired Jim Comey's ass for a variety of reasons. And one of the reasons was he didn't pursue an indictment of Hillary Clinton before he even interviewed her. He's a tool. He's a tool. He's a political tool. Jim Comey in this interview last night, and I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it because I don't give a flying rip about Jim Comey. But this interview last night, by the way, about just under 10 million viewers. It dominated CBS and the Academy of Country Music Awards. But 10 million viewers is less than Stormy Daniels. Listen to this. Averaged a 9.8 million viewers, a 2.4 rating in adults 25-54. So of all the people 25-54 years old, you and I included, by the way, of all the people 25-54, 2.4% out of 100 watched. That's frickin' awful, okay? That's terrible. Nobody was a 2.4. If you're in radio and you get a 2.4, adults 25-54 on a given market, your career's gonna be ending soon. All right? This is lousy. It was a vast improvement from its American Idol lead-in with a 1.3, 1849, 6.3 million viewers. But still, You're looking at a country of 330 million people, and just under 10 million people watch this POS. Jim Comey. Give me an effing break. I mean, just give me an effing break. I do have a little Jim Comey stuff I want to share with you. Here's, I'll just share a little bit, and I'll comment and see what you think. I'd love to know your thoughts on it, guys. Here is a little bit of Jim Comey last night with George Snuffleupagus. Here we go.
To be president.
If you're right, what is the remedy? Should Donald Trump be impeached?
Impeachment is a question of law and fact and politics.
You're a citizen. You have a judgment.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I'll give you a strange answer.
This guy tries to have some sort of semblance of credibility. He acts, he's so effing pompous and arrogant. And he's such a tool. He's such an effing tool. And in his, it's almost like passive aggressive weirdness during his interviews. Just listen to this crap.
Not. Because I think impeaching and removing Donald Trump from office would let the American people off the hook and have something happen indirectly that I believe they're duty bound to do directly. People in this country need to stand up and go to the voting booth.
This is so nakedly political. If you don't get it, if you didn't get it before, you should get it now. This guy hates Donald Trump. This guy and his family, and I'll explain in a second, this guy and his family are ungodly political animals. They are leftists. They are in the pocket of Barack Obama and the Democrat Party. If you don't understand this at this point, you are a frigging moron.
And vote their values. And so impeachment.
What are the values? What are the values, Jim Comey? You just said that if you vote against Donald Trump, you're voting your values. So you're saying that by voting for Donald Trump, those are negative values for some reason. You, like any other typical leftist, like to say the opposing candidate is somehow immoral, illegal, stupid, whatever. That's what happens. When you lose an argument, that's what you use. You are not arguing on intellectual basis that there are people who voted for Donald Trump for reasons that were higher than just, I hate black people. Burp, burp, burp. This is typical leftist bullcrap, and this interview completely exposes that.
In a way, would short circuit that.
A couple years back, you gave a speech saying,
I love this just bullcrap kind of institutional, reflective video featuring Jim Comey, the pure and the wonderful Jim Comey, staring out a window, reflecting on the country after Donald Trump's election.
with our own virtue, we can go sideways.
How you doing, sir? Good, how are you? Excellent.
At any point over the last 2 years, did you fall prey to that? Did you fall in love with your own virtue?
I don't think so.
Did you fall in love with your own virtue? You are in love with yourself, you ass.
But I worried about it constantly. And the guardrail.
This is such a stupid question. Did you fall in love with your own virtue? I don't know, but I worried about it. Who the hell answers an idiotic question like that at all? You say, George, are you kidding me?
For that, because that's a big worry I have about myself, was to surround myself with people who will hit that, hit at the certainty, hit at the pride, to make sure I've thought about things well. But at the end of the day, you gotta look at yourself in the mirror.
Oh, the end of the day. If I ever hear that effing expression again, I swear to God in heaven.
And you've got to make the decision, the right decision, but most of all, for the right reasons. There's this expression, right, that a lie gets halfway around the world before the truth gets its boots on. In the age of the mobile device, a lie makes 100 laps around the world before the truth is out of bed. I'm going to teach, I'm going to travel around and speak about leadership, but I want to offer them a vision of here's what it should look like. Values matter. This president does not reflect the values of this country.
Unbelievable. Values matter, like you have effing values. That you, when you sold your soul for an effing book that's ghostwritten by somebody else, your values are above the American people. Oh, my God in heaven, you make me laugh. You make me laugh. Here is a story about Jim Comey's wife and kids. Now, if you don't understand that this man is an effing tool, you are high. Here they are participating in the radical leftist Women's March.
That I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States.
January 20th, 2017, Donald J. Trump inaugurated the 45th President of the United States.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
On Saturday, January 21st, masses of demonstrators take to the streets, among them the family of James Comey.
My wife and girls marched in the Women's March the day after President Trump's inauguration. At least my 4 daughters, probably all 5 of my kids, wanted Hillary.
Does this not explain to you what this man is all about? This petty, pathetic, sickening, sycophantic, swamp-dwelling piece of crap? Does this not explain to you his family and what he is? You thought that Hoover was a partisan. This SOB is Hoover times 10. Is Hoover times 10. He absolutely despises the fact that Donald Trump became the president. He absolutely despises the fact that this is not Washington and the normal, what's the word I'm looking for? Modus operandi of Washington, and he can't effing stand it, and he was fired for a good reason, because he was a member of the swamp. He is a swamp-dwelling POS, and nobody gives a crap about his life. Nobody who bought this book, and I doubt very few bought the book. This book was bundled and bought and purchased by PACs, by George Soros groups. They went out and they bought thousands of these books to make sure that this book was somehow on the top of the New York Times bestseller list. 9 million people watched the gosh darn special last night, which means nobody really gives a crap what this guy had to say. Nobody cares about his life. Nobody cares about anything. The only thing that people wanted from this book about this man and his glorious career at the FBI was this salacious bullcrap dealing, and I'm being really kind with my words, dealing with Donald Trump and his firing. Nobody gives a rat's ass about this man's life and about this man's story. Nobody's reading it. And as you look further into this interview, you see how ungodly partisan he is, how he is a steadfast swamp dweller who wants nothing to change about what's going on in Washington, D.C. And his family's on it too. His family is in on it too.
President, I know my amazing spouse did.
I wanted a woman president really badly, and I supported Hillary Clinton. A lot of my friends worked for her, and I was devastated when she lost.
Too bad, so sad.
The next day, with that bizarre Trump Tower talk still etched.
Okay, so we know that now his family was behind Hillary Clinton. We know that they were devastated by his victory. You don't think that Jim Comey was in on that too? Honestly, I swear to God in heaven, a corrupt FBI weaponized by Barack Obama. The FBI was weaponized by Barack Obama to go after Donald Trump while he was running his campaign. Did you hear? I mean, I mentioned this last week. The FISA warrant, the FISA judge, they brought the dossier, which was not credible originally with regard to Jim Comey. The FISA judge was presented with this faux dossier, and consequently, I just got a text message. Sorry, I was looking at that. and consequently given the right to surveil a campaign, a transition team, and a president. Unbelievable. And then when this giant flaming 6'8" tall a-hole went to the president, he didn't even tell him. He didn't even tell him that it was funded by Hillary Clinton. He didn't even tell him. Didn't even tell the president that the effing dossier was paid for by the DNC. This mother effing tool. God, this mother effing tool. Don't even know what to say. If you think this arrogant, pompous 6'8" asshole has any credibility at this point, dear God in heaven, I want you to seriously look in the mirror and realize what you have become, what you are as a human being, because I don't even know where the effing begin. Don't even know where to effing begin. Oh, I don't know if you knew this. Andrew McCabe, fired by the Trump administration. Complete political tool. Fired by the Trump administration. Denied his retirement, I guess. Here's what CNN analyst had to say about this effing political tool, as effing political as this douchebag, the 6'8", the 6'8". Sorry, again, I got another. Jim Comey got another text. Here it is. Here's the CNN panel about Andrew McCabe, who was fired for a reason. It wasn't political. He was just an effing tool.
Gabe worked for me as a young SWAT agent, and I believe him to be a man of good character and probity. I think he made some mistakes.
Yeah.
Lack of candor is a term we use in the FBI and the Department of Justice. It's basically dressing up lying or mischaracterizing something. And remember, there are lies of commission and lies of omission. And what he's been accused of is making this disclosure to the Wall Street Journal that didn't fit under the public interest exception, and it was made in a manner designed to advance his own personal interests at the expense of department leadership. Wow. Now, for them to fire him, here's where I stand on that. If you're a probationary agent with 1 day out of Quantico and you lie, bye. If you're a deputy director 2 days from retirement and you're accused of lying by a nonpartisan IG appointed under President Obama, who by every stretch of our imagination does the right thing and is not infected with politics, sorry.
Bye-bye.
I mean, it's a sad thing that it had to happen, but deputy directors and probationary agents have to be held to the same damn standard.
Whoa. Wow. He had to go bye-bye. This is according to a CNN guy. Oh, I know. Kind of crazy, right? Just kind of crazy. All right. What did you think of the new set? I'd love to know your thoughts. Write me right now. I am looking at my Liberty One TV audience, libertyonetv.com, and I would love to know what you think of the new set. If you like it, that's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. Anyway, let's move on to some other stuff. I want to play a little more Comey. A little more Comey. Here's Comey talking about this dossier that featured Donald Trump being peed on by prostitutes. This is so spectacular. Hold on. Let me get it here. Let me play this. All right. Here we go.
Right. What is the remedy? Should Donald Trump be impeached?
Impeachment is a question of law and fact and politics.
You're a citizen. You have a judgment.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I'll give you a strange answer. I hope not. Because I think impeaching and removing Donald Trump from office would let the American people off the hook.
Okay.
And have something happen.
We've already been here.
That I believe they're duty bound to do directly. People in this country need to stand up and go to the voting booth and vote their values. And so impeachment, in a way, would short circuit that.
A couple years back, you gave a speech saying if we
Let's get to the pee-pee stuff here.
Virtue, we can go sideways.
How you doing, sir? Good. How are you? Excellent. Excellent.
Okay, we've already heard this. I'm going to go ahead and
last
get rid
2
of it.
years.
Goodbye.
Did you fall prey to that? Did you?
Goodbye. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to just kill that right now. Remove. Burp. Okay. I think I've kind of expressed my thoughts about this guy who wrote a book. I mean, honestly, as an adult male, talking about the size of one's hands during an interview, talking about the orange tanning, whatever, of the person sitting across from you. Honestly, as an adult male, I'm an adult male. Of all the things you could notice and comment on during your book about your glorious tenure, I got to tell you, I just don't even want to say. Here is what I believe Alan Dershowitz had to say about the Trump and the Comey book.
Alan Dershowitz is a lawyer and professor emeritus at Harvard Law School, as well as author of Trumped Up, How Criminalization of Political Differences Endangers Democracy. We spoke to him just a minute ago.
By the way, Dershowitz is a leftist.
Professor, do the things that Comey has said and written since he left the FBI confirm the decision to fire him from the FBI?
No, it should have been done much, much earlier.
Oh!
It should have been done on the day of the inauguration, and it should
I love it. Dershowitz says he should have been fired the day he was inaugurated.
have reflected itself in the fact that nobody should ever have appointed him to be head of the FBI. This is a man who is revenge-driven.
Thank you!
Who was prepared to leak through a law professor at Columbia, who was prepared to disclose confidential conversations he had with the president-elect and the president of the United States. He's exactly the wrong person to have headed the most important law enforcement agency in the United States. This sends a horrible message to FBI agents and law enforcement people about leaking and about confidences and about trying to keep emotion out of law enforcement and politics out of law enforcement. To me, the worst part of it is when he both compares the president to a mob boss, which proves my point
Unbelievable.
up, that you can create crimes out of almost anything and call a mob boss somebody who's running the presidency of the United States. And the fact that he is willing to say on television that it's possible that the president was with prostitutes in a hotel room with, urination and all that. He's the head of the FBI. He knows the truth. He has seen all the
Oh, my God. Alan Dershowitz speaks the truth.
secrets. And for him to start speculating on that kind of nonsense and rubbish, and not to disclose when he spoke to the president, as you said, that this information was paid for by a political opponent.
Alan, did you hear what I just said? Did you hear what I just said about his wife and his daughter? Did you hear what I said when he was elected? The guy is an effing tool. His family, himself, they are invested in the left in this country. I think I made it fairly clear. And by all of his actions, it should be fairly obvious.
I used to have a good feeling about Comey. I met him a few times when he was in Boston. I now have only very strong negative feelings about him, and he just enhances the suspicion that I think so many Americans now have of law enforcement, and we ought to be trusting law enforcement, and nobody today would trust Comey with secrets or confidences.
I wouldn't.
So if he were alleging that the president were acting like a mob boss, calling hits out on people committing crimes, that'd be one thing. But he's in effect criticizing the way the president talks. He's from Queens. He does actually sound like a mob boss.
Thank you.
Because he's from that part of the country.
I want your loyalty.
Hey,
exactly.
come on, right.
There you go. No, but that's the point, kind of. Should law enforcement officials be making comments like this at all? I mean,
no.
It detracts from the entire organization that they purportedly represent.
And, the idea of revealing these secrets, it's not 30 years later when he's writing for history the way Henry Kissinger has done and others have done. This is a gossipy, revenge, make money quick, get even, hurt your political opponents, raise questions about the politicization of the Justice Department.
This is the key. Listen to that again.
Idea of revealing these secrets. It's not 30 years later when he's writing for history the way Henry Kissinger has done and others have done. This is a gossipy, revenge, make money quick, get even, hurt your political opponents, raise questions about the politicization of the Justice Department and the FBI. It's the worst possible book at the worst possible time for the worst possible reasons. You know, we hear it a lot.
Wow. You want to talk about encapsulating exactly what this is all about. Alan Dershowitz, I never would agree with you normally, but bravo. Bravo. That's perfect. You said it. You said it. Should we go back? I might, I don't know. Should I play it again? It's honestly, it's perfect. It's the perfect analysis of the book.
Actually sound like a mob boss.
Let me see if I find it real quick.
From that part of the country.
Hold on, let's see if I find it.
That's not
Brooklyn.
a
Hey,
here it is. Hold on.
make money quick.
Let me back up a little. Hold on. Here it is.
This is not 30 years later when he's writing for history the way Henry Kissinger has done and others have done. This is a gossipy, revenge, make money quick, get even, hurt your political opponents, raise questions about the politicization of the Justice Department and the FBI. It's the worst possible book at the worst possible time for the worst possible reasons. You know, we hear it a lot about corrupt motives that can't make a presidential act into a crime. But talk about Comey's motives. Have anybody asked him about his motives? Why he wrote this book? Why does he feel it's important for the American public to hear about?
Because he thinks he's more important than he is.
Information that
he's a giant flaming narcissistic douchebag.
Has no idea whether it's truthful or not. It's really scandalous and shameful, and I'm so disappointed with him.
Yes, Alan Dershowitz. Oh my God in heaven. Bravo, my friend. Bravo. That is spectacular. I couldn't think of a better way. I could not think of a better way for someone to encapsulate what Jim Comey is all about. Bravo, my brother. Bravo. Just unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right, let's move on to some other stuff, guys. We've got some things we want to talk about here. Wow, Alan Dershowitz and I agree. Holy crap. That's just spectacular. Some other things happened over the weekend. Donald Trump launched some sorties on Syrian targets. This time, suspected Syrian chemical weapons manufacturing facilities. Okay. Now, there were a variety of leftist tools, including Rachel Maddow on MSNBC, who said that Donald Trump was wagging the dog, to distract from his controversies, scandals in his administration. Now, you'll recall, and I remember when Bill Clinton was president, he responded in kind to daily machinations in his administration with regard to banging the snot out of an intern, and among other things. And he bombed an aspirin factory. He did it unilaterally, not without the support of other countries, to legitimately wag the dog away from the crap that he was facing. You millennials who don't remember this effing stuff, go back and read. I lived it. Bill Clinton legitimately wagged the dog, used the military to distract from his scandals. Now Rachel Maddow is saying that after it was just revealed, not by the United States, just by journalism in general, it was revealed that Bashar al-Assad did it again, or at least maybe like-minded people in Syria dropped chemical weapons on civilians. Once again, it happened last year. It wasn't just U.S. intelligence. It wasn't just Donald Trump saying, okay, here we go. He did it again. Let's bomb him because I want to distract from effing Stormy Daniels. No, you idiot. You idiot. Rachel Mad Cow on MSNBC. You're supposed to be smart. You act very smart. You occasionally use 3-syllable words, so that makes you apparently just brilliant. But she's saying that President Trump wagged the dog in attacking Syria over the weekend for using chemical weapons on his people. First of all, he would have had to have coordinated with Bashar al-Assad to actually bomb the people first so that other countries' journalists could get a hold of the footage and share the fact that Bashar al-Assad, I should say, dropped chemical weapons on his people again. So Donald Trump obviously had to call Bashar al-Assad and say, hey, dude, here's the deal. We need to drop some weapons, and then I'm going to respond to you in kind. Is that cool? It's absurd. It's absurd on the face of it. Last year, Bashar al-Assad dropped chemical weapons on his people. What happened last year? Donald Trump responded in kind. He went after the airstrip where the sorties were launched, and he bombed the effing snot out of them. And we didn't hear any more of this until now, which is about a year later. Okay? Was he wagging the dog then? Was he wagging the dog then? Rachel Mad Cow of MSNBC, and I call you that name. I realize it's a cheap shot, but you really are. You're just a POS. You're just a tool. You act really smart. You think you're so gosh darn smart. You probably got an Ivy League degree, but you do not have a degree in common sense like I do. Rachel Mad Cow. Unbelievable. Here's the president over the weekend on Syria.
Launched precision strikes on targets associated with the chemical weapons capabilities of Syrian dictator Bashar al-Assad.
But really, this is about a porn star. This is about a porn star named Stormy Daniels, who, by the way, is doing strip club appearances near Mar-a-Lago. That's her big what for over the weekend. She's appearing at a strip club. A mother of a child appearing at a strip club near Mar-a-Lago on her Make America Horny Again tour.
A combined operation with the armed forces of France and the United Kingdom is now underway. We thank them both. Tonight...
Whoa. Unless French and English are really big fans of Stormy Daniels, why would they decide to commit forces in Syria to go after Bashar al-Assad and his chemical weapons program? Do you suppose Theresa May, who we'll get to in a second, said, you know what, Donald, seriously, we got to get this Stormy Daniels thing off your back. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's commit our military resources to this.
I want to speak with you about why we have taken this action.
Dear God.
1 year ago, Assad launched a savage chemical weapons attack.
I don't think he was wagging it back then. What was going on back then?
Against his own innocent people. The United States responded with 58 missile strikes that destroyed 20% of the Syrian Air Force.
Did you realize that chemical weapons were banned in the 1920s? Did you realize that they were supposed to be banned during the 1920s? Not so much. Where do these weapons come from? I know Iraq had weapons of mass destruction, and they were never found. Right? They were never found. Cost of presidency. Where'd they go? I don't know. Syria's pretty close.
Saturday, the Assad regime again deployed chemical weapons to slaughter innocent civilians, this time
70 people.
in the town of Douma, near the Syrian capital of Damascus. This massacre was a significant escalation.
Okay. Don't believe me? Let's talk to the British Prime Minister. Let me find it here real quick. The British Prime Minister, she said the same thing. She said that, let me find it real quick here. Theresa May said the same thing. They committed forces to it. They said, okay, it looks like maybe Syria's doing the same thing they did last year. And I don't believe I really don't believe that let me see. I got to find it real quick here, guys. I apologize. I don't believe that the Syrian, or at least the British PM was really concerned about Donald Trump and his dalliances with a porn star. I don't think so. I could be completely wrong. I don't have the video. I don't know why I don't have the video, but I will tell you that Theresa May is in on it, that France is in on it. Okay. All of these things. I believe that all of these people were in on it. And the reason they did it was because Bashar al-Assad dropped the weapons on people. All right. I don't have the video in front of me. I apologize. Oh, wait. Here it is. Here is the British Prime Minister supporting this, even though I don't think she's a big fan of Stormy Daniels.
This evening, I have authorised British armed forces to conduct coordinated and targeted strikes to degrade the Syrian regime's chemical weapons capability and deter their use. We are acting together with our American and French allies.
I don't think this is wagging the dog. I could be wrong. Theresa May maybe wants Donald Trump to do it with a stripper and cover it up. I could be wrong.
In Douma last Saturday, a chemical weapons attack killed up to 75 people.
What? No. That didn't happen. Stormy Daniels did an interview on TV, and Donald Trump wanted to distract from it.
Including young children, in circumstances of pure horror. The fact of this attack should surprise no one.
Yes.
The Syrian regime has a history of using chemical weapons.
No. They did it last year, but that was Donald Trump wagging the dog again to distract from something.
Against its own people, in the most cruel and abhorrent way. And a significant body of information, including intelligence, indicates the Syrian regime is responsible for this latest attack. This persistent pattern of behaviour must be stopped. Not just to protect innocent people in Syria from the horrific deaths,
but also to protect Donald Trump from the accusations of a porn star. No, she didn't say that.
Casualties caused by chemical weapons. But also because we cannot allow the erosion of the international norm that prevents the use of these weapons.
Which, by the way, were banned in 1925. But some of these douchebags, these incredible douchebags, these 7th century throwbacks, continue to use them. They just continue to use them. Whatever. All right. I think I've made my point. Did you hear about the story in Philadelphia? A couple of black dudes go in to a Starbucks. Apparently used the bathroom, but didn't buy anything. I love it when the left eats its own. Starbucks is a leftist. I mean, they're leftists. Listen, I like my Starbucks. I don't care. And honestly, I'll tell you, I don't give a rat's ass about this story, to be quite honest. I'm going to share it with you in 1 second. But first, I want to talk about my major sponsor, which is Pit Barrel Cookers. I've got 2 of them in my garage. I've got a Pit Barrel Classic and a Pit Barrel Junior, and they are glorious. It's a big metal drum that has a graphite exterior. It's not paint. It's a graphite exterior, so it's going to last you the rest of your dang life, I swear to God. And you put some charcoal in the bottom, or maybe a little bit of wood chips if you want to smoke with the charcoal. Put the lid on it, and you walk away. You want to do pork butt. You want to do ribs. You want to do brisket. You don't want to use electricity. This makes it so unbelievable easy. Do you think you're a pit master? Do you have a few things to learn? Pit barrel cookers are amazing. Google Pit Barrel Cooker or go to liberty1tv.com/cooker, liberty1tv.com/cooker, and check them out. I'm going to do my very best to get another one and give it away to you in the next few weeks, okay? But Pit Barrel Cooker, look it up. Look it up. All right, I am a barbecue guru, and I'll tell you, this is the best of the best of the best. Unbelievable. Back to the story out of Philadelphia. Apparently there were, the police called on 2 black men. And I'm not laughing about this. I just think it's like, welcome to Philadelphia. Honestly, it's like suburban Philadelphia. 2 guys hanging out, and I thought they were wonderfully tasteful with regard to how they were treated, and I'm not into boycotting Starbucks, because this is not a national policy by Starbucks to kick black people out. But this is just a horrific and stupid event. Outraged social media users encouraging people to boycott Starbucks because of a racist incident in a store in Philadelphia where the cops were called on 2 black men. This is so effing stupid. This is just so stupid. Apparently, these guys went in. They just sat down. 4:40 p.m., police received a 911 call for a disturbance and trespass. When the police arrived, they were met by Starbucks employees who said the 2 males were trespassing, had refused to leave the establishment. They didn't order a coffee, apparently. According to employees, they had seen the 2 males come in. They sat down, and after being seated, they decided they needed to use the restroom. Starbucks said that company policy, they do not allow non-paying members or non-paying people to come in and use the restroom. And so they then asked these 2 males to leave. They refused to leave. The police were called, apparently. The officers on the scene called the Starbucks supervisor first to avoid the situation from getting out of hand. The 2 men were placed into handcuffs and escorted out of the video, which has been seen 3.2 million times. Here is the video. For those of you who are listening on iTunes, I apologize, but you can at least get the idea what happened.
What did they get called for? Because there are 2 black guys sitting here meeting me? Yes, I didn't know. Well, what did they do? What did they do? Someone told me what they did.
They didn't do anything. I saw the entire thing.
They didn't. What did they do?
Nothing. And the woman says for paying customers to get out there to eat. They didn't do anything.
They're getting hauled out. Get out of here. Brah. Black people, we don't want you in here. Yeah, honestly, I don't know how this crap happens. I really don't. I don't know how this crap happens. But just what the hell? I mean, honestly, what the hell? What the hell? I may have some other audio. Oh, you know what? I'm going to wrap things up, guys. Because 2 people passed away this weekend. On Friday the 13th, Art Bell died. Now, Art Bell did this glorious, conspiratorial, whacked out radio show for years. It was on overnight. And I recall listening to Art Bell many, many times. Art Bell did this show. It was about UFOs and it was about crop circles. And it was nuts. It was bananas. But God dang it, it was good radio. He died at his home in Pahrump, Nevada. Nevada, if you're from Nevada. On Friday the 13th, of all the times, of all the days he could die. It's all the days he could die. He died on Friday the 13th. And, I thought he was full of crap, to be quite honest. I thought he was full of crap. I really did. But another person died over the weekend, and God bless you, Art Bell. You did it, man. You owned it. You owned it. You owned it. You created a niche. You made overnight radio profitable and compelling. God bless you, dude. God bless you. F. Lee Ermey died over the weekend. Or R. Lee Ermey. Pardon me. R. Lee Ermey died over the weekend. You remember him from Full Metal Jacket. His entire career after the military was a drill sergeant. I remember, this wonderful movie. Let me find it. Hold on. This movie, and I love this movie, by the way, and I don't know why I remember it. We had Michael J. Fox in it, and he was in Full Metal Jacket, Toy Story, by the way, Toy Story. He was in Seven, I guess. He was in Mississippi Burning. I had no idea. The Frighteners. He was in The Frighteners. And he played the same character in every darn movie. And he was great. He was in Toy Story 2. He was in all of these movies. And he passed away. He was only 74 years old. And he died of pneumonia. And I'll play for those of you watching on video. I'll play a little video of the Full Metal Jacket trailer. And then for those of you listening on audio, you can hear him. But here is R. Lee Ermey, 74 years old, died, and you may think that's old, died way too soon.
I am your senior drill instructor. From now on, you will speak only when spoken to, and the first and last words out of your filthy sewers will be sir. Do you maggots understand that? Sir! Yes, sir! You will be a weapon. You will be a minister of death, praying for war.
He was fantastic. Wasn't he fantastic? Here's a little bit more. I'm not sure if this is the same, but I wanted you to hear a little bit more from this guy.
I am Gunnery Sergeant Hartman, your senior drill instructor. From now on, you will speak only when spoken to.
Okay.
And the first and last words out of your filthy sewers will be sir. Do you maggots understand that? Sir! Yes, sir! If you ladies leave my island, if you survive recruit training, you will be a weapon. You will be a minister of death, praying for war.
Okay.
But
All right,
until that day, you are pukes. You are the lowest form of life on
Here we go.
earth. Sir, yes, sir. Private Joker, why did you join my beloved corps? Sir, to kill, sir. So you're a killer? Sir, yes, sir. Let me see your war face. Sir. You got a war face? Ah! That's a war face. Now let me see your war face. Ah! You didn't convince me. Let me see your real war face. Ah! You don't scare me. Work on it. Sir.
I love it. I just love it. God bless him. God bless him for his service and just as a character. Holy crap. And I saw him on like a Discovery Channel. He did videos where he went out and he shot weapons. Just, damn it, I wish I would have met him. I think I did an interview with him years ago. But God bless him. Holy crap. What a kick-ass mother effer. I mean, just a kick-ass mother effer. Him and Art Bell. Him and Art Bell. All right, it's time for me to go, guys. I want to thank you for joining me tonight. If you get a chance to, I have some very cool shirts and swag online. 75 designs of politically incorrect stuff. TeePublic, TeePublic.com. Just look for Conservatees. TeePublic.com/Conservatees. Adorable Deplorable is popular. Uranium One, Making Russia Great Again with Hillary Clinton. Just a ton of stuff, guys. A ton of stuff. Veganism is an eating disorder. If you wouldn't mind, please order. And then, of course, pit barrel cookers. If you're thinking about pit barrel for the the sprig. Maybe you got a beat up old Weber out there. Maybe you got a crappy ass, electric grill out there. Don't get rid of it. Get a Liberty One, get a pit barrel cooker. Pit barrel cooker. Just look it up online or go to libertyonetv.com/cooker. In the meantime, it's so good to be back, and I'd love to hear what you think of the new set. All right. Have a glorious evening. God bless you and yours, and I'll see you again tomorrow night.
Thanks for listening to The Rob Carson Show. Friend him on Facebook at Carson Show, on Twitter at Rob Carson, and on Instagram, I think Facebook and Twitter are enough for now. We'll see you soon.